Hi, John Wanoa here. Today is Friday the 16th of December 2016 and I'm just going to do a very short clip on John Key, Prime Minister of New Zealand. Why he resigned as the Prime Minister is because he's caught up in the cabal and he's named as to be arrested by the Red Dragons, which is the British Parliament, Red Coats, for committing crimes, that he's involved with the Lucifer and cabals and the fraud and corruption happening under Queen Elizabeth II's monarch sovereign ruling authority right through the world. And Obama and Clinton is now being caught and trying to wriggle their way out of it, and John Key is with them with the TPPA and all those crown corporations, businesses that are causing a lot of trouble on indigenous countries, lands in the Dakota, as well as in countries where there's war going on, Syria and Afghanistan, all those places where the crown is behind it all with these elite people, the Black Pope, Jesuit, and Queen Elizabeth II, Jesuit. She's a Jesuit in those cabal, and the Bilderbergs and elite private companies running and corrupting King William IV Admiralty court martial law, or financial martial law abuse. Okay, so they're abusing humanity and killing everybody and defrauding our beneficiaries of the Queen Victoria Trust and corrupting the AKAROA bank, which is our bank of our natives here, the MOAI HAPU natives, chiefs, whakamininga, 1834 flag, sovereign authority here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. So I'll just run this now and keep this very short. For you, Jamie, Anna Marie, our secretary, my secretary, Patrick, surname the 8-point star of St. Patrick's Order, New World Order, Dublin to Westminster, King William III authority, and King William IV successor, and now King Ernest Augustus, the 5th successor, King of Britain, UK, Hanover, Aotearoa, New Zealand, Pacific Islands, and the Commonwealth world. So here goes. Listen very carefully to John Key's name in New Zealand that has got the government here in trouble as debtors, levy debtors of the Moai Crown, King William IV Trust, and our whakamininga Chief-Kingi Taurua. Okay, here goes.
Good morning, folks. It is the 13th of December, 2016. That's right, the 13th. Uh-oh, conspiracy. Anyway, to the largest, the smartest, and the most active audience in the world, one of the largest, I thank you for coming. Our indicators indicate we get 200,000 to 300,000 hits per video. You are one of the largest. CNN only gets about 20,000 now. They've gone from 50,000 to 20,000 viewers. People are abandoning them left and right. So you are one of the largest audiences in the world. Thank you. We try to talk about what you want to talk about through your calls and your texts and your emails. This is your channel. The biggest concern you have right now is what happens to the cabal. What happens to those who are following Satan and openly conducting human sacrifices, like the Chief Forester here on Fort Lewis. He just retired. The purge of the cabal accelerates. The cabal means those who follow Lucifer and his Kabbalah. In the West, they use the C for the Christian cabal. Yeah, right. They conduct human sacrifices and follow Nazi principles. It's not all CIA versus FBI. There's a lot of things in between there. There's a lot of FBI agents sacrificing humans. There's a lot of CIA agents sacrificing humans. That's what all the wars are about. That's why the major battles are plus or minus 3 days from the full moon. And there's a lot of good FBI and a lot of good CIA and a lot of good NSA people. Yeah, they've been raped and tortured. There's a lot of them coming out of that saying, you know what? I'm following God. Jesus is my Savior, and I gotta work to take these people down, and they are. Benjamin Fulford, and if you listen to Benjamin Fulford, he's pretty intelligent, really nice guy as well. A lot of his writings are written by the people around him. He's a figurehead. He stated a week ago that many people in this cabal in China and the West are now sort of disappearing. Further, the following political leaders have disappeared. They've been taken out of office and they're facing real jail time. Italian Prime Minister Renzi, French President Holland, European Parliament leaders Mark Schultz and several others, New Zealand Prime Minister Key, Nicolas Sarkozy, what a dirtball he is, South Korean President Park Hai, Prime Minister Abe has agreed to work with the Chinese President Xi Jinping, and the Chinese President Xi Jinping has agreed to work with the Red Dragons despite his personal human sacrifices and his worshipping Lucifer. He's been found out, and he now has to work with the Red Dragons or go away permanently. Here in America, Opus Dei leader Bishop Xavier Echeverria.
Staying on top can take an extra boost.
So there we go. I just wanted to show you the bit about John Key and where to for him in all of this scam going on in New Zealand. He's been the kingpin of the cabal here, running the Queen's business, Queen Elizabeth II's business inside the Waitangi Marae King's Bench Court. And Maori have never understood that side of how commerce works with our flag, and so to that end we leave that video only shorter so that you've got just the bare fact of our credible evidence in the High Court of Admiralty in London, Rolls Building, Federal Lane. When we go there, and we go to Plymouth Courthouse, King's Bench Court there, and set up our court there from Waitangi Marae King's Bench Native Court with Chief-Kingi Taurua and Manahi PARAPARA Mohini as judge, and jury is Bundy Waitai and who he chooses to be on that jury, and myself, Sheriff, Surrogate King William IV, and nominating King Ernest Augustus V, living 69, as King of Britain, UK, Hanover, Aotea, New Zealand, Pacific Islands, and the world, New World Order 8-point star. Okay, so he will return the 8-point star of St. Patrick's Order off Pope Francis and off the Jesuit Black Pope Adolfo Nicholas Patron, and the White Pope, or the Pope there now, the executive, Pope Francis Bergoglio. Remove the Admiralty titles from him, the Vatican City, and seize all our memorials back to give them back to the countries that they came from, Africa. All those memorials, the obelisks, everything returned, as well as our MOAI returned to Rapanui, and our titles with King William IV Memorial in place to take out the Queen. We're going to boot her out because she's already made her dash and climbed overboard and abandoned ship of Admiralty, the flag of jurisdiction, and gone into EU Parliament to run her own private business. Now, John Patterson, ex-military, police, and Gordon Bowden, ex-Air Force, have information that the Queen emptied out His Majesty's Treasury Office of all its funds and gold for that matter and took it into the EU Parliament. Okay, so we're investigating her trust, the Queen Victoria Trust, our trust, the AKAROA Bank, the BNZ Bank in England, the BNZ Bank here in New Zealand, the NZ Invest Limited companies here, corporate companies in New Zealand, down in Mahuhu Crescent, Auckland City, where I was staying. I've got an inventory of that. And also the Treasury, New Zealand Treasury, and Bill English, the Treasurer. And him now as the Prime Minister, investigated him and inventory on him, and the whole Parliament is getting the bill, this bill here of 970 million trillion pound note to stick it to Queen Elizabeth II, debtor, levy debtor, and the 1,000 million trillion pound note for the land confiscations in New Zealand only. There's the note. I want to say to you people watching these videos that this is our evidence, our true title holdings of the Acts of Westminster Parliament under King William III, 1830 to 1837, is legal. On the 15th of April 2016, these notes, pound notes, became legal. Sitting in the ANZ Bank in Auckland, and our foreign currency bank, ANZ Bank in London, will be there, and also the flag is legal on that day with Chief-Kingi Taurua and myself, the Sheriff, in that court hearing with Paul Tipene, police, from Constable from Kirikiri Police Station, and Maori Ravana, the cultural manager of the Waitangi National Trust, as witness to what happened in that marae. So that's the note, that's legal money that we're writing down and cashing off in the ANZ Bank and these other notes against all those policemen who held me up on Cook Street. You're getting this 1 trillion pound note on your head. You've got pound notes for this and that, but that one's to you. I warned you, Tim Duffy, and I warned you, Aaron Pascoe, and I warned you, Flower-Dew Brown, Natalie Flower-Dew Brown. I warned you that you were going to get billed this trillion pound note on your head each. Okay? There's the trillion pound note for every offender, whether it's someone in native or other cultures, right around the world. You get one of these on each of your heads, and whatever assets you get is seized, and the balance of that is against Queen Elizabeth II and this green pound note. It's carved out of this. Everything we write in debtor come out of this note. This one goes to the British Navy shortly. I'm sending an email to Philip Jones, the Air Marshal, Chief of Navy and Chief of Military in Britain. He'll get these pound notes, that one, and the 1,000 million pound MOAI pound note debt, levy debt on you, Bill English, legacy of John Key. It's under John Key that he stuck to the bill before he went. I emailed it to him, and the email is there, stuck on Facebook as evidence he received it when he pushed his send button and receive button on his email, and I got that back as being received. Served. He's served publicly, internationally on Facebook. He said admissible evidence in the High Court in London and admissible evidence in the Waitangi Marae King's Bench Native Court under jury, grand jury hearing. So the grand jury is a hearing with Kingi Taurua, Chief, and the jurors, Bundy Waitai, and the judge, Manahi Parapara Mohini. Now, I must say this, that any person who is thinking about trying to do this is going to get one of these slammed on your head. One of these notes, trillion-pound notes slammed on your head if it's found that you're using any of these the seal of King William, the seal of MOAI statue is patent under the MOAI Crown King William IV Trust. So any of the seals in the make of the gold dragon here as the gold, the 1 million metric tons of gold that's being held, 600,000 metric tons of gold in the Philippines, 200,000 metric tons of gold in the Vatican, another part of the 200,000 metric tons of gold in Hawaii, Britain, and elsewhere in the world that belongs to this trust. And this pound note is a levy debt instrument right over the top of that, and right over the top of church and state's assets, bank accounts, money, gold, and real property against the Vatican and against the Queen and her elite families, royal families, over 300 royal families, all of them, they get this bill. It's carved up into many pound notes, many of these pound notes that we have here, ready to split out of this pound note. Okay, so this goes right over the whole world, and it goes to cover all the indigenous countries in the world, humanity against humanity and human rights. This is covering you in smaller denominations of these amounts, trillion amounts, to each of your countries, 250 countries on MOAI.com website. So you'll see those shares there. The shares are split amongst all the members who join us, and has to be distributed to humanity that way, not through Karen Hudes or through anyone else that thinks they have an ownership right to that without the proof. We have the proof online. And there's Matt Taylor on the MOAI Reserve World Bank, 100 million pound note. And you'll notice that he has his King Arthur beside King William there. Now the pound note has the 2 bars on the pound note. The normal pound note's got 1 bar. And so we have the rights to print the money under those acts that I have just on Facebook there. Some of the questions being asked by Alfred Mitchell. That's legal money that I'm just showing you. And one as well. So we've got a range of different colours, but we've got the one for John Key online. I've got it printed out yet, and that's to his name. That was billed to him before he resigned on the 12th, and Bill English was the Prime Minister on the 12th of December 2016. John Key got that bill for 1,000 million trillion pound on his head, and all the Maryland courts and all the land itself in New Zealand, and the rest is personally against them. He gets £1 trillion on top of that on his head personally. Okay, so his properties will come out of the £1 trillion, and the Queen under the green pound note gets the rest. Okay, you see how it works now. And we are the bank, the MOAI Powerhouse Bank Group Limited Company, private company, and the MOAI Powerhouse Group Limited registered company in Britain, London, UK. That is the tax going through there in the British pound note from this MOAI pound note in other currencies. We convert to other currencies straight out digitally, and only a limited amount of these notes will be available as prize pieces, as most of the currency will be digital money. Okay, and so mobile phones will be the payment systems there, and we're hoping that we can get back onto TagPay and pick up from there to be used anywhere in the world. I'll make sure of that when we get the first draft note banked. And so these notes are in the bank already, and all I had to do is authorise from the highest authority in this land to Waitangi Marae, King's Bench Court is the highest authority in the world with this flag flying inside it. Okay, so we're opening up that court and then transfer its authority into the district courts right through the country and right through the Pacific and right through the world. All the district courts in the world where the Queen's head is under her monarchy will be seized back into the King's Bench Court and her head taken off right through the world, and including in Westminster, will be removed for all good. Her coronation is not true, the scone is not true, and she's been fraudulent all this time with the Rothschild banks and the Vatican. Catholic Church has been fraudulent all the way through. They're going to get bankrupted straight out with that green pound note. Okay, that's how it works. That's how MOAI works, legally and legitimately with the British Navy. Chief Philip Jones, he is Kingi Taurua and my partner, right? The sheriff and the chief landowner of that marae, sitting on his land, and the ship of Admiralty from Britain sitting marooned and stranded on his native land. Okay, this has nothing to do with native title, tikanga, or anything else. This is straight commercial contracts to Britain, Westminster government and court in Plymouth. We're taking our authority from Waitangi Marae straight onto William Yard in Devon Port, England, on his estate land, and his memorial. We're putting the flag right beside his memorial first. We go to his memorial from here, from that marae, with his ship, with that flag up the top. It's going up to stay up. And the government in building this will govern his people as levy debtors for life. And his flag, the war flag of these veterans here, will go on the cross run besides the British flag on the other side, and this flag is going to the top this time around. No more humbug, hanky-panky, football, fern flags, or dreamed up TPPA in this lot. Kingi's in charge of how land is distributed, and I'm the one running the Moai Powerhouse Bank with Jamie. Okay, you've got that? Have you got that? That's how it works, Jamie. You're learning a little bit at a time, but gradually you will get your day in court, okay, on the 6th of February 2017. So once again, a warning to all people in the world, and to Maori especially in New Zealand: do not in any way tamper with anything that has Moai on it beside King William IV on any pound note or any document sealed with King William and his horse here, this one, King William on his horse and his ship of Admiralty behind it. No one is permitted to use any of these, the 8-point star, the New World Order of St. Patrick, and his crown here at the top. No one is permitted to use this without authority from the Moai Crown King's Bench Court and the Moai Crown King William IV Federal State Commonwealth Government of the world, dual Westminster government, Brexit style. Okay, we're waiting for the Brexit to sort itself out, and it will be swift when this flag goes up. We're there. I'm going there as the head trustee of the Queen Victoria Trust converted to the King William IV Trust. We are still carrying on in Admiralty law, court martial law, civil law, not UCC law, if we can help it, but we're going under the land laws of England and the British Westminster government system dual. So they are in fact overarching the government here under wraps. So they'll be limited to what they can do by asking Kingi Taurua, Chief, and Waitangi Marae, King's Bench Court, for permission to do anything in the sea and anything with trade and titles to land, and also resources, natural resources, and birth certificates, licenses, permits, and everything to make commerce shall be the overruling authority of the chief of the whakaminia. Okay? The land owner. The commercial land owner. And the HAPUs can do their thing, and the native people in the world watching this video, you'll have the same rights under this flag of jurisdiction right through the world. You'll be running under this flag straight to Britain. The new Britain, with all the pedophiles and corrupted Queen Elizabeth side gone. Okay, we're going to end up with Prince Regent Ernest Augustus, 39-year-old, up-and-coming King of Britain, UK. You'll notice that there's nothing to do with England. It's Britain or EU Parliament. One of those is going to collapse, and it's certainly not going to be ours. Our contract, our private contract. Nobody's business. What I say and what Kingi says has nothing to do with anyone. Poroho, Te Poroho, Ruka, Danny Watson, and Hohepa Epiha. This has got nothing to do with you. We're in the contract, not you. We're in the contract. Kingi and I have been through all these years, over 20 years, putting this contract back in place as it was on the 20th of March 1834. There was a contract running. The British couldn't come here without a title. That's real estate. They were doing real estate well before 1830 in Britain and Europe. So nothing new to them with Scottish titles on the land. Those are the titles that we're using, the Rogan titles, and the MANUKAU titles, and the Wanoa titles, and the MOAI titles. You see, you show me your titles, that'll match that up. Otherwise, stay out of the marae at Waitangi. Otherwise, you'll get a £1 trillion note on your head. However, you'll get this £1 trillion note straight on your head. And you'll have no beer in your pub. You'll have no beer in your pub because one of these is each person right through the world, and it still won't hit this one. It still won't add up to that one. Right? There'll be a few millenniums before it finally gets to the end of that one. Right? So you're caught in a private contract of Admiralty with a real king's flag. The real king of England, Britain, UK. That's the highest you'll ever go. And you stupid Maoris don't know how to use it. And it took a MOAI to figure it out. Now you fellas want to jump on the wagon and think you can do it. No, you're too late. I told you fellas, you're too late. We're moving on. The whole world's watching this, and they're not going to wait for you lot to try and teach yourself something you don't know. However, stick your beak out of it. That's what Kingi said. Stick your nose right out of tampering with our information and our contract. You get your own contract. You get your own contract, Danny Watson. You get your contract when you come to Waitangi, when you watch this video and you come to Waitangi, you bring your contract. Otherwise, you shut your mouth. Shut your bloody mouth this time. You can talk Maori till the cows come home. but it won't get past the king. Okay? Get your own things and use your own whakapapa and king, because you're not talking for this one, you're talking with Bill English on that side and waving this around. That's got no mana. It's got no mana. Only in that marae on the 15th of April 2016 got the mana in there. Not you, Ohepa. It wasn't for you. It was for Kingi. Okay, so you can shut your face out of there, because you're not on that title piece of dirt land. That's Kingi's dirt land. And don't worry about anybody else that says they're from Rahiri. That's your own HAPU. Whakapapa. Whakapapa is not commerce. Okay? Get that in your thick heads. I don't mind saying this on these videos, because you deserve to be thrown out off Kingi's land. Alright? No say. And the people watching and supporting me online, there's 5,000 Facebook people. I can't get any more in now. They're pouring in to make claims to this flag and its membership. Is going to spread all that wealth to them, not you, Ohepa. You can go down to Bill English for the 1%. I'm dealing with the 99%. Right? That's why you're so thick in the head from New South Wales convicts. They only think just this far, not right out. Your vision is just this far as your bloody beer keg. Right? That's as far as your thoughts are. That far. Short-sighted. Right? Short-sighted. I have to say that to you, because you belittle Kingi and me. Right? And this is what you get. You get a whole face full of videos from everybody watching. Our proof here in this video, what I'm saying, is the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. MOAI is God's sovereign truth. I say what I say, my word against yours. That's all I had to say, my word against yours. Put your evidence in front. You haven't got it, you didn't have it. That's why. You're not going to fool around with me, or Danny Watson, or Te Poroho Ruka. You'll have to stack all your evidence in front of me on that day, because I'm taking that bag back into that marae. I'm taking the bag into Waitangi marae, and you'll have to put something in front, otherwise shut your bloody mouth. All of you. Okay? Shut your belly mouth. Don't put your documents in front of me anywhere, because that stays in John Key's side of Te Marae for your day in court. Okay? This is the Waitangi Day. This is the Waitangi 6th of February and the days before it. This is for Waitangi Day, not for anything else. If you haven't got anything to stack up to Waitangi Day that fits this bill and these power notes, forget what you've got in your hand, because it's not going to stack up with you standing there saying something. Because I'm going to ask you this, I'm going to ask everyone who's opened their big mouth to say who they really are. Where do they get their authority from? What is their surname, and where did that come from? And how did it get on this fucking land? And who gave it to them, that piece of fucking land they're sitting on? And which authority of government is sovereign today? Which queen? Is she there, or is she gone? And what have you got left to go on? Whose sovereignty? Sovereignty of who? Sovereignty of someone that's less than king? Or myself? I can say that. Or have you got your own sovereignty to somebody's borrowed name, or your own fake name? You're going to have to tell me in that Titi Marae, because I already lined it up with Kingi. He has the last say on that marae. And Ngāti Rahiri, Ngāti Rehe, and Ngāti Kawa. If you've got anything to say, you better say it on the 4th and 5th inside Titi Marae, before we go across the other side in Waitangi Marae, and only space there for this jury and judges and sheriff and secretary to keep notes and to film going to Westminster. Nobody else, because there's only space for just that lot, not the whole rest of you useless bastards that come in there with your documents and talking a lot of crap shit. None of that. Kingi's not going to let it in. He's going to stand there as a commercial landowner. Nothing to do with tikanga, nothing to do with anything. He is the recipient and the first right of claim to the Queen Victoria Trust and the AKAROA Bank through this flag. You can't say anything about that, Hohepa, because you don't have anything to back it up what you're saying with your big mouth and your korowai. Yeah? I'm not gonna take this thing lightly. You either got it or you don't have it. Don't come into that marae because you've got a £1 trillion note. You get this £1 trillion note on the head for every Maori that comes into that marae thinking they're gonna talk. And whakapopi here, there and everywhere like you usually do. Come in there, open your mouth and say, whakapapa to Rahere, whakapapa to there, and Ngāti Pro and Ngāti Kahunu and Te Arawa. And by the time you find you'll whakapapa to every bloody thing and Chinese included. So, you'll get one of these straight on your head on the record because Jamie's been filming, she'll be watching who's there, and those going into that marae won't go in there because Kingi's got last say who goes in there. He's got the last say, and because I'm allowed to go in there, and because it's Ngāti Pro marae, that's what Kingi says. He says it's your marae, John. They can't stop you from going in there. Those are your tupunas in there. Sure. So that's the end of that. And I say, well, that's your land, Kingi. Commercially, it's your land. I've got your name on the title. It's in Britain. It's in Westminster. I don't see anybody else's name I put on there because they're not listening. And so, why should I put anybody's name on that turns the other way and goes the other way and follows the wolves? And Bill English trying to save their government from collapse. It's going to collapse in the end, but I don't want it to die quickly. I want it to die slowly, Kingi. I just want to strangle them slowly so we can drain all the money out of them and everything they've got for thieving and lying and cheating and crying over nothing. Right? That goes for you, Hoipa. You'll get this £1 trillion if you step in there because we don't want you in there. We don't want you in that marae faking it. Faking it. And Danny Watson, we don't want you in there, in that marae. That's his land. You stay off his land. I'm telling you, you'll wear one of these pound notes or anybody else fiddling around with these documents that are online. Anybody in the world, do not touch any of the documents that I got my name on, or the seal, or the set, the seal of King William IV and the MOAI statue. That's British property as well as ours. We're in partnership and the flag belongs to Britain, not to you Maoris. It doesn't belong to you Maoris. It belongs to the native contract and the flag belongs to Britain. It's copyright, it's patents, it's look, and it's red cross, and it's whole authority of admiralty of a king. Ours is the contract. We own the contract. We own everything the contract made right through the world, and we own all of that gold that's missing in our trust as beneficiaries. And you beneficiaries under Bill English's company, private company, in his corporations right through the world that he's involved with, linked to the fraud cabal, is the levy debtors and we are the levy creditors. The whakaminia, this whakaminia that I choose and Kingi chooses. Alright? You cut yourselves off when you did that to Kingi. When he walked out, when I walked out after him, that was the end of that. It cut off right there. And with Jim running to you, Danny Watson, it cut him off from me, right off, on Kingi's land. On Kingi's land. You see? That's how vicious commercial law is. It can chop your head off with the Admiralty, court martial law, and financial martial law. Can strip you of everything you own, above the land, under the land, that's been put there, apart from the land that belongs to the native HAPU, not iwi, not Bahia, the HAPU, can claim its inheritance back and separate all you thugs out of it. We're seeing who is on one side or the other. And for you, Jim, WAIKATO, you disappointed me by not having that hui down there. I was setting myself up, as we talked here, I was setting myself up to go there, and you said it's cancelled, you're going up the other way. So that's the end of that relationship, okay? I don't beat around, not with all these documents I've got, and there's no need to try and use them. Do not use these documents, Jim, or anyone else who's thinking of the money side of it, the gold side of it. Forget it. Forget it. Because you haven't got the rights and the patent rights that the seal has secured with the British Navy and the British military and government. Secretary of Defence and the Prime Minister, Theresa May. Okay, they've got the letters. This one is going in a minute. That's why I've stayed from going to the gym. I wanted to put that letter online and out in the public. And you'll have to face that too. Right? The more things that are out online, the more evidence there is stacked up against you lot. I'm saying that because you Maori are supposed to lead the whole indigenous country of the world. You're only there for your own selves and not learn how this works. Okay? Thank you very much, people. See you later. Bye.